What did the person you were interested in do to completely make you lose interest?
Before we continue with the video, please hit a subscribe, likes, and comments to make sure you don't miss our next video.
Number 20. I planned our first date, picked the time, date, location, etc. We had a good time and agreed to go out again, and then the dude completely spiraled when I suggested he pick the place for the second date. He was waffling, saying, "Oh, I'm so bad at planning," and literally could not decide any of the details of what we should do or when we should meet. For reference, I'm talking about a grown man in his 30s who was a small business owner. This happened a lot with the men in my city when I was doing online dating. For whatever reason, they always seemed to expect me to plan our dates from beginning to end, and it was hellish nudging them to take some initiative with the planning, even when we were actually into each other. It became a colossal turnoff for me over the years. The wonderful man I'm with now always takes initiative to propose fun things for us to do, and I always tell him how much I appreciate it. And when I plan our dates, he thanks me and acknowledges that planning takes effort. I love him so much.
Number 19. I listened to her issues and troubles. So many of them were clearly self-inflicted. Poor choices, money management, and it's never her fault? Nah, I can't have those problems become my problems.
Number 18. We talked for like 1 hour and 30 minutes. I thought the conversation went great. She laughed a lot and was beautiful. Then that night in bed, I realized I asked her over 20 questions, and she never asked me one. I know what school she went to, how many siblings she has, all about her interests and job. And she literally just knows my name. Definitely not interested, just enjoying the attention I was giving her at a friend's b-day party.
Number 17. Every time she texted me and I didn't respond within 5 minutes, she would send a question mark. It was incredibly annoying.
Number 16. She wasn't as supportive/serious as I wanted my partner to be. I had been looking for a job for about a month and finally got an interview. I texted her to let her know how excited I was, to which she replied with a stone cold, "Good job, you want a medal?" Really bummed me out, thought she was joking, so I let it slide. Nope. She didn't congratulate me or anything. It turned me off, and I eventually cut things off with her after a few more instances where she couldn't be serious and threw snarky comments my way when I was feeling euphoric, and shared amazing news with her. In my eyes, amazing news. I get giddy over small things. Moral of the story, ladies, please be happy for us, because we men don't hear, "Good job," "I'm proud of you," etc. often, if ever. If we're excited about something, it's for good reason. Don't ruin it for us.
Number 15. After about 8 months of me always hosting, cooking dinner, cleaning up, giving her nice massages, breakfasts, lunch, depending how long she lingered. One morning I had plans with my friend and it was agreed that she would leave in the morning. Leading up, she started leaving overnight bags and she started not leaving till the afternoon, sometimes even not leaving. Anyway, one morning where it was agreed she'd be on her way, she didn't. I was busy preparing for my plans, and as she was finally leaving said something like, "Next time maybe offer me breakfast if something in the morning." I thought, like, at least once maybe you can offer me a coffee or something. Nope, not even a glass of water when she getting one herself. I coined it as princess syndrome and ghosted her.
Number 14. I witnessed firsthand my first "fridge is a bit" moment. Left him that day. For some background, apparently my boyfriend at the time had a tantrum habit. Like full-blown incel meltdowns that I was never around for, nor were they mentioned to me as anything other than in passing as a joke. This entire friend group lived in one house except for me. One time some mutuals were over and the mom had to change her baby's diaper before everyone left the house. She deposited it in the trash bin while she cleaned everything else up. My ex, who didn't sleep much the night before, opened the trash, saw a diaper, and started screaming at the top of his lungs, calling everyone in the room a bitch, screaming about there being a baby and dirty diapers in the house, hurling insults everywhere. Everyone just kind of sat there and waited for him to finish. After like 30 seconds of dead silence, the dad goes, "Damn bro, you gonna call the fridge a bitch too?" I was not there for this situation, but it coined the term for his specific type of tantrums. This friend group had a way of minimizing the severity of his tantrums and talked about them in a joking manner, so I didn't think they were actually bad. Needless to say, when I saw him have one because my other friend was too short to keep up with the group and I was staying back with her, I was OUTTY, and gave my friends a good scolding on minimizing verbal abuse.
Number 13. I went to her apartment and she had poster-size pictures of herself, like 5. She made me dinner and the chicken was seriously undercooked, raw, and the frozen vegetables were still frozen. Then the icing on the cake, there was no cake, was that she left the room and came back in wearing slippers, that she mentioned she's had forever, that smelled, from across the room, of funky feet.
She deserves a life sentence for that whole date. Especially with no cake being made and smelly feet. Hell no.
Number 12. His best friend asked me to have a threesome with them in front of him. I froze face, flushed, confused, and uncomfortable AF. Looked at him expecting him to say literally anything. Nothing. Told his friend he's got jokes, assuming he had to be kidding. His friend asked again. He still says nothing. I lightheartedly said no thanks, I'm good off that. Stepped outside to smoke so I could cool down and process what the F just happened. Thought they must have talked about it, but couldn't figure out why he wouldn't have brought it up to me himself. Like, YTF would his friend be the one to ask instead of him talking to me? He comes out a few minutes later mad AF, accusing me of hooking up with his friend. Scary mad. Told him I didn't have the slightest interest in his friend and it was he didn't speak up. Made it through the night till I could get back to my car and blocked everything. Didn't want nothing to do with any of that ever again.
Number 11. I liked him, he was interesting. Took adventurous trips and was really good at telling stories about them. Finally, when we met at a party for about the 10th time, I found the courage to ask him if he had a girlfriend. His response, yes, but that doesn't matter. He had that kind of look on his face that made me know what he wanted. I totally lost interest in him. Best thing that ever happened. I think 2 weeks after that I started dating another guy. That guy has been my husband for 6 years now.
Number 10. The girlfriend moved into a new apartment and dropped her cat off at the pound. Cat was a sweetheart, she had him for 5 years, and when I found out she dropped him off at the pound after asking about him, her comment was, "What's the big deal? I can always get another one." That was a big wake-up call. I didn't want to spend any time with that person. Pretty much said I was done and got the hell away from her. Adopt animals for life, you are their caretaker, and they are your best friends for life.
Number 9. I'd been dating this girl for almost a year, and she was really cute and nice. However, throughout our relationship she became more and more unconfident and started gaining a lot of weight. She would always dump on me like, "I think my body's disgusting," or, "I'm afraid you're going to leave me because I'm too fat." She also was really into Animal Crossing to the point where she would pour hundreds of hours a week just to play the damn game. It even got to the point where she would play it while we were video chatting during the pandemic. Like, I want to have a conversation. You can't put down the damn controller for like half an hour. I wasn't turned off by her gaining weight, it was the unconfidence behind it, and just the huge amount in a short span of time. I ended up breaking up with her eventually because she was just suffocating me too much. I spent a year trying to help her through her problems, but it didn't seem like listening to her constant BS was helping her or me at all.
Number 8. I remember I was talking to this very pretty Asian girl that I had a huge crush on for a while. She started talking to me after we graduated high school. But I grew up poor, and she grew up not poor lol. She said, "Why are you working so much? You should be going to college." But I was giving all my money to my mom to not get evicted. She didn't understand that I didn't have my own money, and how I was just trying to have a home. We got in a small argument, and she tried to convince me to just say no and go to school. Anyways, I kinda blew a fuse and told her something mean I can really remember and ghosted her. Eventually, we did get evicted and my life spiraled and I hit rock bottom. Really glad she wasn't there to witness any of that.
Number 7. People pleasing. I fell in love with a confident and self-assured person with a lot of empathy. We were both therapists and worked at a day program together. After I moved in, I noticed she stopped having any thoughts or feelings. Every question was flipped back onto me. From, "What do you want to eat?" to, "I don't know, how do you feel?" Every day she was, "Fine," or, "Okay." Her body language betrayed her every time, but that was me, picking a fight. If I took initiative and created a whole thing for us to do together, she would do it, and a week later remind me that was my idea and she did it for me. She could never articulate what doing something for her looked like, she had no needs or wants, ever. On a monthly basis, she would also say her needs weren't being met. If asked what they were, she couldn't say. If asked what was preventing it, she would say, "I know they wouldn't be met anyway." Turns out she had mother who let her know her emotions were not okay and a burden to the family. Her mother passed, and that childhood was beyond reproach. I spent 6 years trying to figure out to reach her, but it would always go back to people pleasing. I eventually realized the person I was trying to approach didn't exist, I fell for the role she was playing at work. The worst part of dating a people pleaser is that when it ended, I found myself looking back on and questioning the entire relationship. Was she ever genuine, or just playing the role of good girlfriend? She didn't really exist, and I miss her terribly.
Number 6. He told another, larger, girl to cover up her stomach, because nobody wants to see that in front of our whole friend group. Completely unwarranted. She was wearing a shirt with little slits on the side that showed maybe an inch of her side, otherwise was a perfectly fine outfit.
Number 5. She slapped me in the face once in public and I have zero tolerance for that outside the bedroom.
I like how outside the bedroom is specified.
Number 4. Told me about his gambling problem. Only told me because he was losing his house.
Holy freak! Would you like a smaller, more transportable red flag?
Number 3. When I first entered uni 4 years ago, I used to have a big crush on a girl. I discovered quickly that she was already in a relationship, but what made me completely lose interest is when she told me she was spying on her girlfriend on Instagram with a secret account and that she used to look at her girlfriend's phone in secret too. I quickly understood that she was a massive red flag and moved on.
Number 2. Talked about himself for 2.5 hours straight. I was hoping a disruption like the food being served, orders being taken, or even a story ending would remind him to let me get a word in, but he would just go back to another story with "so. Yeah, I was saying."
Reply, as a bartender, I've seen this happen a few times, but one incident takes the cake. The lady was so sweet and nice, arrived early and was sitting there quietly passing the time. Then I see this short bald man creepily peering through our windows, clearly trying to get a good look at her before coming in. Proceeds to spend the next 3 hours talking about his accomplishments, money, and celebrities he used to run into in his old neighborhood in NYC. He was the loudest person in the place. She showed no obvious signs of disgust, but I think she was just a classy lady. I'm really hoping she didn't go out with him again.
Number 1. Long time ago, started seeing a very rich person. Sent a photo of dinner I had ordered on a completely average restaurant on a completely average/popular neighborhood. Got a reply saying, if you ever took me out to eat there, would never see you again. Well, indeed never saw the person again.
Thank you for watching. If you like to watch more of these videos, please leave a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share to your friends and family. I'll see you in the next video.